We are all experiencing an unprecedented time in our lives right now. The level of uncertainty, anxiety, and fear can be overpowering as we learn to navigate in our new world, all doing our part, whether it be social distancing, staying home, and abiding by federal guidelines. There are so many on the front lines who are battling a war against an invisible enemy. Being on the front lines can place a person's physical and mental health in jeopardy. A team of professionals has come together and created a program called Resilient Minds on the Front Lines to bring tools, knowledge, skills, and instruction to assist in a time of need. This team is dedicated to helping those who help others. On today's webcast, I have the honor of being a guest along with country music singer and songwriter Matt Kennon. My name is Kaptain Jack, the voice of Resilient Minds on the Front Lines, and owner of JerseyShoreCountry.com with 47 years in radio. Today, Matt and I talk about resiliency and how important it is in our professional and personal lives.
Resilient Minds on the Front Lines was created to bring you 15 minutes of hope in a world turned upside down. The topics in our webcast are all meant to help those on the front lines help themselves and others. Today, Kaptain Jack and Matt Kennon talk about being resilient at times in their own lives when it's been very difficult. Matt shares with us his story of being adopted and working in the music industry and how both have made him more resilient in his life, and how he accepts the challenges that come his way on a daily basis. Be safe, be healthy, be resilient.
Welcome to Resilient Minds on the Front Lines. Hi, everybody. It's Kaptain Jack. Usually, you hear me and don't see me. And somebody in their infinite wisdom decided that that wasn't good enough, and I had to come and put my face on the camera. And so I accepted because I am honored to be a part of this entire organization and this project and this program that has helped so many people in so many ways. And today I get to be a part of the actual programming part of it. And I would like to bring in a very good friend of mine who is not only a good friend of mine, but in my opinion, the best songwriter in Nashville, Tennessee. Why do I say that? Because you have to hear this guy. I've heard every one of his songs. I know the structure of his songs. And I know the guy has a knack for writing the most incredible songs ever made by anybody. And right now, please welcome Matt Kennon, to the airwaves here for Resilient Minds on the Front Lines. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, and everybody, I paid him to say that.
Yeah, well, you know, Matt and I have been friends for, 20 years now? It's going to be something like that?
I know it's been at least 10, maybe 11.
Well, let's put it this way. The first time I met Matt was at my birthday party, and that's a day that nobody will forget, including him.
You're exactly correct.
Right here at the Jersey Shore, too, as a matter of fact. But Matt has a story of resiliency that is just over the top. I mean, you were adopted, and you know, you didn't even know that was happening. You that happened at birth, right?
Right, 5 days old.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, 25th of June, 1977. I was adopted. I was born on June 20th, 1977.
Now, when did you find out when did you find out that these people who you loved all your life were actually adopted parents?
You know, they always told me from day one that they chose. My parents, unfortunately, lost 3 kids in a house fire. So everyone had the story and knew what all they had went through. So everybody always just said I was a blessing to them. And, you know, they were probably more of a blessing to me.
So when you got to be an age where you realized what that was all about, what did you think?
You know, I always wanted to find out who my biological family were. And I did. When I turned 18, I did. And I wasn't prepared for everything I'd hear and everything I'd see. And I wish now, going back, I wish I could have just seen them from a distance. And somebody would have said, hey, there's your mother, there's your father. I got a wonderful relationship with my brother. I have a full-blooded brother who's 49 years old. And we still stay in touch. And I got some half siblings out there. Some I've never met and may never meet.
So resiliency has been a part of your life from pretty much the very beginning.
Yeah.
And it continued on through meeting your biological mother and your biological siblings, right?
Yes.
And then beyond that, now, Matt being in the profession that he's in as a songwriter and a performer, you can't be nothing but resilient with that. I'm telling you right now, because it's one of those things that keeps on banging on you, banging on you, banging on you, banging on you. And tomorrow morning, you got to get up and do it all over again and just forget about what happened yesterday. And otherwise, it'll drive you crazy, right?
Pretty much. They're
So
crazy.
when you start the process of becoming a songwriter, what age did that start?
You know, I always wanted to be a drummer. And I'd been playing drums since I was about 4 years old. And then when I got about 16 in high school, I was singing in the chorus and in different bands, and everybody was always like, man, you got a really cool voice. Nobody said you have a pretty voice. They said you have a cool voice. So then I realized singing was a lot less work. I didn't have to carry the drums in anymore. And so I gave up the drums at 19 for a while and started singing. And I made the decision to pursue Nashville probably about 23 years old. And at that time, I hadn't written any songs. And I was told if I was going to have a shot, that I needed to become a songwriter and a guitar player. So that was two things I started right away. And I was really blessed to write with Kim Williams and Rich Fagan and some of the biggest songwriters that have had some of the biggest, Garth Brooks, John Michael Montgomery, Clay Walker, George Strait, the list goes on and on, cuts, and have had many, many hits. So they took me into their wing. And some of the first songs I wrote were about being adopted.
So the songs that you wrote were never shopped out for other artists to cut. You always basically cut them yourself.
Yeah.
And is that the reason why? Is because they had a personal connection?
Yes, sir. But now I got, I'm at the point now in my career where I'm going to start pitching some of my songs to other artists. And, I'm fine with just being the singer-songwriter.
You need to do that, because I'm telling you right now, man, like I said, you're one of the best songwriters in Nashville. And I mean, you wrote The Call, you sang The Call. I mean, everybody heard it on the first episode of Resilient Minds on the Front Lines. And to me, it was like one of those songs that reach out, grab you, pound you a couple of times, and then wake you up, because you think about other people. And it's a very enlightening song itself to say, wow, that's deep. That's very deep stuff. But what caused you to write that particular song?
I'd had a lot of friends and even some family members that had made a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And I felt like once I got to Nashville and I started meeting with Kyle Lennon, and he took me under his wing and produced my first record, James Stroud gave me a record deal. And I felt like, wow, if I really got a shot at this and I'm going to get on the radio, I really want to say something that really could make a difference in somebody's life. So it really felt like the reason I was put here may have been just to write the call and to put that out.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something right now. I would like for you, in your own words, to throw it out there. And what is it that you think that everybody should keep in their mind as they go through their lives and say, this is what I need to do to move forward, to just put everything aside and do what I need to do to get to where I need to go?
Well, what I can tell you is tough times don't last, but tough people do, and then just having a support group around you. You never know what somebody's going through. So it is important to reach out to those. And if somebody's on your mind, there may be a reason for it. That's what the call is about. You never know when somebody might be ready to make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So please never do that. It's not worth it. I can promise you, give it 24, 48 hours at the most, and it does get better, no matter what you're going through.
Believe me, he believes this wholeheartedly, because when I call him and he hasn't heard from me in a while, he'll go, what's the matter with you? You're not going to make the call? He says that all the time. And, we keep in touch quite often, not as much as we used to, because, our lives have gone in completely crazy ways now. But, lately we've been staying in touch more, which I'm happy to do. And because, he's become a good friend and somebody that, we've had some tough times back and forth, which we both kind of talked about and helped each other out of some tough situations at times. So, but you know what I would like for you to do right now, my friend?
What's that?
Pick up that guitar and play that song for us.
All right. I just ran through it before I got on here, and this song never gets old to me. I'm still living off this song, and I hope somebody that hears this takes something away from it. But here's my debut single, The Call. Today's gonna be the day We'd already rode the road and parked that Chevrolet at the end of that dead-end road. Had his finger on the trigger, just about to hit everything. He was taking one last long breath when he heard his cell phone ring. And his best friend said, man, where you been? We're heading down to the lake this weekend. You better not miss it, buddy, I swear. It won't be the same if you ain't there. And I told that girl that you like so much, you were coming along and her eyes lit up. I better let you know. Man, I really hope I didn't catch you in the middle of anything. He said you kinda did, but I don't mind at all. I'm glad you called. In another town, in the backseat of the car, 2 18-year-olds and let kids go too far. He said, how we gonna have this child when we're both headed on to school? He convinced her late one night there's only one thing to do. Now she was scared to death in that waiting room when the nurse asked how far along are you. She said 5 weeks, and just about then her phone lit up and his call came in saying, baby, I was wrong about everything. I've already bought you a diamond ring. We're gonna start a life. Would you be my wife or a girl? Pick a thing, yeah, either way. All she said is she felt those teardrops fall. I'm so glad you called. If someone you know is weighing on your mind, if it's a friend on the other end of the line, don't hesitate. What you say may seem so small, but who knows? They might be glad you called. So make a call.
That was just as amazing as the first time I heard it, my friend. Thank you so much. And and in closing, I just, throwing my 2 cents in there real quick. Resiliency is something that you're born with. You just have to find it.
That's right.
Once you find it, there's no stopping you. I mean, take it from Matt, I've had some pretty big hills and valleys to go through in my lifetime too. And in radio, we do pretty much the same thing as you guys do in the music and doing your own thing over there. But you have to rise above it, and rising above it is the biggest part of it. Once you get to that pinnacle, there's nothing you can't do. And
that's right.
So it's good seeing you, my friend.
Good seeing you. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, thanks for being here. That's Resilient Minds on the Front Lines. I'm Kaptain Jack. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Matt Kennon, for joining us. We'll see you next time. God bless.
As you can see, the team we have assembled for Resilient Minds on the Front Lines is impressive. Experts from various fields will be contributing to each program. In addition, we believe music is medicine. A good friend, Matt Kennon, country music singer and songwriter, wrote a very moving song a few years ago named The Call. Matt believes strongly in resilient minds on the front lines and has given us permission to include his incredible video in this program. The message is, no matter how hard life may seem, there is always hope, and making one phone call can drastically change a life forever. Thank you for joining us. We are here to help those on the front lines help themselves and others. For more information, you can visit us online at onthefrontlines.us. We will continue to bring you 15 minutes of hope in a world turned upside down. Thank you.
Today was gonna be the day. He'd already wrote the note and parked that Chevrolet at the end of that dead-end road. Had his finger on the trigger, just about to end everything. He was taking one last long breath when he heard his cell phone ring. And his best friend said, "Man, where you been? We're heading down to the lake this weekend. You better not miss it, 'cause buddy, I swear it won't be the same if you ain't there." And I told that girl that you liked so much, you were coming along and her eyes lit up. I better let you go. Man, I really hope I didn't catch you in the middle of anything. He said you kinda did, but I don't mind at all. I'm glad you called. In another town down the road, in the backseat of a car, 2 18-year-olds had let a kiss go too far. He said, "How we gonna have this child when we're both headed off to school?" He convinced her late one night, there's only one thing to do. She was scared to death in that waiting room when the nurse asked, "How far along are you?" She said 5 weeks, and just about then her phone lit up and his call came in saying, "Baby, I was wrong about everything. I've already bought you a diamond ring. We're gonna start a life. Would you be my wife? Boy or girl, pink or blue, yeah, either way." All she could say as she felt those teardrops fall, "I'm so glad you called." Someone you know is weighing on your mind and needs a friend on the other end of the line. Don't hesitate. What you say may seem so small, but who knows? They might be glad you called. So make the call. Yeah, make that call.
During the COVID-19 pandemic crisis, your mental health is vital. Please see the resources listed here as well as on our website at onthefrontlines.us. You are not alone.